This will be a very short lecture, but you are being recorded, just to let you know. And here we go. So our devotion for today is 2 Peter 1, 3 through 4. His divine power has granted to us all things that pertain to life and godliness, through the knowledge of him who called us to his own glory and excellence, by which he has granted to us his precious and very great promises, so that through them you may become partakers of the divine nature, having escaped from the corruption that is in this world because of sinful desire. So what do people take away from these particular verses? Anything? Well, first of all, you can see that he has great promises for us, and that we are blessed to be chosen, and that Jesus is the path for us to escape this corrupted and sinful world. Any other thoughts? Okay, so first of all, the administrative items. So tonight, the implementation, which is the screenshots and the work activity log, is due. So get that in. I've gotten one submitted already, which is great. And then Friday is the Chapter 12 quiz, and Monday is the quiz on software agreements and copyright. And then again, that's open book, open note, but just don't go Googling on the web and use web references to answer those questions. And then Wednesday, you'll have a work activity log only, because you are going to be doing a promo video or a project presentation video for that same day. So in a sense, those are two different. You could combine them to be your implementation in a sense, but you get extra point. You get more points for the two of them each separately. And then Friday, May 1st, is the test plan and report on your software. So I talked about how I'm going to have a little surprise for the final, and this is the surprise. So what I've decided to do with the final is make it semi-optional. So the way it'll work is, if you're happy with your current grade, you don't have to take the final, and the points for the final won't be integrated into your grade. Now, the provision for doing so will be that you have no zeros on any of the other assignments or quizzes. And having said that, you will be allowed to go back and take quizzes or do assignments for partial credit, so to take out that zero, in which case you would not be required to take the final. If you'd like to take the final to improve your grade, that is an option you can choose to take, is take the final as an opportunity to raise your grade. So those are your options. Now there's one caveat, in that if you are a senior on the exempt list, and I'm not sure if you guys get notified if you're on the senior exemption list, and I don't know how many seniors we actually have in Software Engineering 1, but if you're on that list, the provision that that you have no zeros or no for quizzes or assignments, that restriction is removed if you're a senior on the exemption list. And the exemption list is based on your GPA. So that is the way we are going to handle the final. It is an opportunity for you to raise your grade, but if you're happy with the grade you have and you've submitted all the other assignments, then you are allowed to just stand pat with the grade that you have. without taking the final. So any questions about that or any of the other administrative items and the assignments coming up or your project?
I am just looking on here. How do you know off the top of your head how much of the grade is decided by the final project?
The final project is actually primarily all the work activities that go into the project.
Oh, okay. So like the final piece of it isn't super heavily weighted.
No, it's not super heavily weighted. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. So, any other questions? Yeah, I have been considering whether that should be weighted more heavily in software engineering 1. Right now, it's not. In software engineering 2, it's heavily weighted because that is pretty much what the class is taking the things that you've learned in software 1 and applying to the project. So the project gets a lot more weight in software engineering 2. But right now, it hasn't been weighted that heavily, and maybe that should change in the future. I haven't decided yet. Any other questions, comments? So the other thing, the other announcement I have today is that this is basically the end of the lecture for today, and you're welcome to stay to have any questions you want to have answered, or if you want to just discuss your project or anything else. And then also on Friday, there will be no lecture, and so we won't meet again until next Monday. So hopefully this will give you time to work on the quizzes and the other assignments for this class, and truthfully your other classes, because I imagine your other classes are getting very busy as well. So anyway, are there any other questions? All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and stop recording. That was, like I said, a very